Yo, what's up? This is Olympus Mons, the Above Limits podcast. Today, we have something in the news. The karate chop of Jim Acosta to the young intern doing her job. It's made a kind of a controversy, you know, this gotcha media and gotcha politics that we have. Everything's a controversy. So the controversy right now is that Trump pulled Jim's press credentials to the White House. Basically, my opinion on it is that the man was told repeatedly to that he could not ask another question. He may have said, ma'am, please, pardon me, but Mr. President, may I ask another question? And the answer was flat out no by Donald Trump. He basically said, no, you cannot ask another question. Normal people would hear that and be like, the answer is no. So that's not what happened yesterday. What happened was the Jim Acosta basically had his hand in this type of motion of like pointing and stuff like that. Basically, I mean, if you know like self-defense, it's like a block. And then when she went to go grab it, he did another type of, like, I call it the Judy chop, and we'll get into what the Judy chop is in a little bit. But he gave her the Judy chop. And now he's gotten his press pass revoked because they're saying that, you know, what he did was out of line. And I think it was out of line. I mean, how many times do you got to ask the same question? This isn't the first time he's asked that question before. This is probably an everyday thing. Someone from CNN or the other gentleman that's with them, they say that ask the same stupid questions. What do you think about the indictments on Cohen, Mr. President? What do you have any thoughts on it? Are you worried about it? You know, and I mean, listen to the president when he first. He's like taunting the guy. He's like, "Oh, here he goes. Here he goes." You know what I mean? Like this is the type of politics. This is the clown world we live in. So, once again, this is the Above Limits podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. This is what I do here, and let's get into it.
Here we go. If you don't mind, Mr. President, that this caravan was an invasion. As you know, Mr. President,
I consider it to be an invasion.
As you know, Mr. President, caravan was not an invasion. It's a group of migrants moving up from Central America towards the border with the U.S.
Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it.
Why did you characterize it as such?
Because I consider it an invasion. You and I have a difference of opinion.
But do you think that you demonized
Pretty good answer.
in this election?
No, not at all.
Difference of opinion.
I want them to come into the country, but they have to come in legally. You know, they have to come in, Jim, through a
They
process.
have to come in legally
I want it
through
to
the
be
process.
And I want people to come in, and we need the people.
Your campaign.
Wait. You know why we need the people, don't you? Because we have hundreds of companies moving in. We need the people.
They're hundreds of
Get
miles
ready for the
away.
Judy
They're
chop.
Hundreds and hundreds of
You know
miles
what?
away.
I
That's
think
not an
you
invasion.
should, honestly, you know
miles
what?
away. That's
I
not
think
an
you
invasion.
should, honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings
Let
would
me
be
ask,
much
if
better.
I may
Okay,
ask
that's
one other
enough.
question, Mr. President. I was
That's
going to
enough.
ask one of the other folks.
That's
had,
enough.
That's a
Pardon
block.
me, ma'am.
That's
Excuse me.
a,
That's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question,
let's
if
go.
I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have
I'm not concerned
indictments-
about anything with
that you
the
may have
Russian
indictments coming down?
investigation. That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am.
Let's see it again. Let's see it again.
Mr. President,
Excuse me. That's
let's
enough.
see it again.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question,
let's
if
go.
I may ask. They're hundreds and hundreds of
You know
miles
what?
away. That's
I
not
think
an
you
invasion.
should, honestly, you know
miles
what?
away. That's
I
not
think
an
you should,
invasion.
honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings
Let
would
me
be
ask,
much
if
better.
I may
Okay,
ask
that's
one other
enough.
question, Mr. President. I was
That's
going to
enough.
ask one of the other folks.
That's
had-
enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr.
Excuse
President,
me. That's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question,
let's
if
go.
I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have
I'm not concerned
indictments-
about anything with
that you
the
may have
Russian
indictments coming down?
investigation because it's a hoax.
Are you-
That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
So this is the second day of the next day after the election. So they're like, okay, we all know that Congress is gonna, the Democrats, the leftists are gonna do every attempt to try to get Trump out of office. That's the only thing they can do is order investigations, have hearings, whine and cry. But nothing can be done with the checks and balances because the Senate's gonna just smash whatever they do. So this guy, I think he kind of worded his question wrong. He should have been like, well, with Jim Acosta, he should have been like, well, with the Democrats winning the House, they're able to have these powers and, the Russian investigation. But this question he's asked, this is not the first time he's asked this question. This is probably about the 20th time he's asked this question. And it's very rude. It's very rude what they're doing to President Trump. And I don't understand why it's a threat to, reporters. Like, I was listening to Joe Rogan, okay, and so I have to give credit to this. They were talking about how his guest was talking about how this same guy, Jim Acosta, when Trump was making the deal with Kim Jong-un, Jim Acosta went and asked about the young man that was tortured and was freed but ended up dying. I forgot what his name was, but it was really big. He took a banner off of a hotel for the North Korean propaganda and was charged and was sent to like a labor camp. He was like an American student that went on a trip. Warmbier, that's what his name. Warmbier. It's like this dude is. We're trying to make peace over there in that country, yet this guy asked such a fucking stupid question that literally a dictator would be offended if he understood what the guy's trying to say. So it's like that's what this guy, this little weasel, does. So the controversy now is that supposedly Sarah Huckabee Sanders tweeted out some type of sped up doctored clip of this man, doing the Judy chop. And I'll get to the Judy chop in a minute. We'll get to this young lady, this intern. She's just doing what she was told to do. And I think this video is a little doctored. I mean, I know it just kind of, let's see here, and it kind of cuts, and then
Hundreds of companies moving in. We need the people.
They're hundreds of miles away, though. They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's
I
not
think
an
you
invasion.
should, honestly, you know
miles
what?
away.
I
That's
think
not an
you should-
invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings
Let
would
me
be
ask,
much
if
better.
I may
Okay,
ask
that's
one other
enough.
question, Mr. President.
That's enough.
See, that was a cut right
That's
there, because I know she walks to him. So I don't know this. I mean, it's a random clip, but I mean everybody's doing it. But whether it's sped up or slowed down, it was definitely a defensive, position. Let's go back to here. In self defense or whatever. Give me a second. You just do blocks. Block, and that's basically what he was doing. That guy. Jim Acosta, because he wanted to please his overlords and be praised for being such a great reporter, etc. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the world we live in. Is these people just want that type of accolade? So we'll go back here and let's rewatch. This is a little doctored, but it's not sped up like the controversy with Sarah Huckabee Sanders. So,
if I may ask one other question, Mr. President,
That's enough.
Ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr.
Excuse
President,
me, that's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question,
let's
if
go.
I may ask.
All
right.
And
President, I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am.
right there, you fucked up, dude. You fucked up, dude. I mean, that's a young lady.
Ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am.
I mean, poor girl. Anyways, the bottom line is the guy was told repeatedly to, like, you can't answer. Look, watch. He's going to ask, may I?
Mr.
Excuse
President,
me, that's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question,
let's
if
go.
I may ask, on.
No, you may not ask. Sit down. You know, and that's pretty much the bottom line is the dude would not sit down. You know, and that's what we're dealing with here. And whether it was sped up or wasn't sped up, I mean, who cares? I mean, that's the when you know Don Lemon wants to say stuff like white people are or the white men are the biggest threat to the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like that it all gets flipped around, like, you know, reversed back to everybody else. Like this guy just being obviously a fucking asshole, you know what I mean, gets you know, flipped around like, well, what do you mean? This is a threat to this is a threat to reporting. But anyways, that is a definite Judy chop. And if for those that don't know what a Judy chop is, this right here is a Judy chop.
And you got your Judy chop, all right? You got your karate chop, and you got your ninja chop. And you got your Judy chop, Judy chop, Judy chop, Judy chop, Judy chop, Judy chop,
That's too funny, man.
Judy chop, Judy chop, Judy chop.
That's a Judy chop. Let's go back one more time. But it's definitely a Judy chop. Thought that was funny. No controversy here. I mean, whether she sped it up or whether she didn't speed it up or wherever she got the thing, it's still uncalled for to be putting yourself in the defensive position, no matter if it was a man or a
Question,
woman.
Mr. President, I
That's
was going
enough.
to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr.
Excuse
President,
me.
ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. I
That's
was going
enough.
to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. I
That's
was going
enough.
to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr.
Excuse
President.
me, that's enough.
Question,
Hey,
Mr. President.
you fucked up.
I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr.
Excuse
President.
me, that's enough.
Mr. President, I had one.
There has to be some type of you know, decorum in these situations. Basically, is what I'm trying. I get at. You can't just go and be like, I'm Jake Tapper. I am Don Lemon. I am a CNN reporter, and then be like, you know, if you don't let me ask my fucking question that I've asked a million times, then you know, this is a threat to the existence of the press and, you know, against the Constitution, and you're a bad man, Donald Trump. So this has been the Above Limits podcast. Quick video. Watch my recent longer version podcast, and of course always subscribe to the channel. That is the biggest thing that you can do to help me build this platform that I'm trying to build. So with that, we'll see you guys. We out.